Dear students, welcome in 7th standard video class. Hope you have solved open book test. So let's start our fourth lesson, Nutrition in Living Organism, page number 26. So students, let's recall what is meant by nutrition. So nutrition means food which is necessary for good health, for getting energy is called nutrition. And we get nutrition from balanced diet. Balanced diet contains enough amount of proteins, vitamins, carbohydrates and minerals, fats. So this is called a balanced diet, and we get balanced diet from the food which is roti, sabzi, dal, bhat, salad, fruits. Okay. So we get nutrition from such type of food. So students, what is meant by malnutrition? Malnutrition means low nutrition. When any organism get low nutrients, that organism's condition becomes malnutrition, means that organism do not grow properly, overweight, or it causes low weight. So let's understand the meaning of nutrients. So what is nutrients? Nutrients are the compounds which we get from food. We need these compounds for good health, for getting energy, and for our growth. For that purpose, we have to take balanced diet. Complete food we have to take. We have to add in our food roti, sabzi, dal, chawal, salad, fruits. So this is nutrition or nutrients. Now let's understand what is meant by malnutrition. I said you malnutrition means lack of nutrition. Lack of nutrition causes weight loss, no proper growth, physical as well as mental. Overnutrition is also not good. It causes obesity or overweight, fattiness. We can prevent malnutrition by taking balanced food as per our age and our work type. So what is meant by work type? If you are doing physical work, continuous movements are there, hard work, labor type of work, you have to take more amount of food. Amount of food should be more and balanced. And if your work type is sedentary, if you are officer, table work you have to do, no movements are there. So in this condition you have to take less balanced diet you have to take, but you have to take less amount of food. So let's start our lesson. So ingestion, digestion, assimilation, these are the life processes. Ingestion means taking food into the mouth. Digestion means food get digested. Food get converted into simple components. And assimilation means the simple soluble food get mixed into the blood, get absorbed by the blood. It is called assimilation. So these are the life processes. Foodstuffs like chapati, rice, dal provides energy to our body. We get several types of nutrients from food. There are two types of nutrients, micronutrients and macronutrients. What is meant by micronutrients? Nutrients which are needed in large quantity is called macronutrients. M-A-C-R-O, micronutrients. So carbohydrate, proteins, fats are the micronutrients which are needed in large quantity. And M-I-C-R-O, micronutrients which are needed in small quantity is called macronutrients. Minerals and vitamins are required in a small quantity. They are very much necessary for fight against diseases, but they are needed in a small quantity. Okay, the nutrients which are needed in small quantity is called macronutrients. So let's study about the autotrophic plants. Can you tell students how do plants produce their own food? Plants are autotrophs. They are not depend on anybody for their food. They can make their own food. They can synthesize, prepare their own food. So how do they make their own food? Let's understand. Plants need food for their growth. Plants produce their own food. What do they use for producing food? They use sunlight, chlorophyll. Okay, chlorophyll is in leaves. Plants use water and nutrients from soil for preparing their food. Plants also use CO2. So what do plants use? Plants use water and minerals, plant use sunlight, plant use chlorophyll, and plant use CO2 for preparing food. By using all these things, plants make their own food, and they're making own food. This process is called photosynthesis. There is an equation of photosynthesis. What is the equation? Equation is carbon dioxide plus water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll forms glucose, and oxygen is released during this process. How will you write this chemical equation? 6CO2 plus 6H2O in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll forms glucose and oxygen, that is 6C6H12O6 plus 6O2. This is a very important equation of photosynthesis. Okay, if you will study science up to your graduation, this equation is very necessary. It is basic, primary, so you must learn this equation of photosynthesis. Plants convert light energy into chemical energy and store it in the form of food. What? Plants convert light energy into chemical energy and they stored in them in the form of food. Root absorbs water, minerals, salts from soil. Stem transport them up to the leaves. Leaves have microscopic openings, pores. Leaves have pores, and these pores are called stomata. Through stomata, they take CO2 from the air. You can see every part of the plant is busy for preparing food, but in our home only mother remains busy in preparing food. But students, see, in plants, every part of plant, they are busy in preparing food. Leaves have chlorophyll, roots are absorbing water and minerals, that stem is transporting this food to every part. Their stem is transporting water and minerals up to the leaves. Okay, leaves have macroscopic openings. It is called stomata. And stomata, through stomata, plants absorb CO2 from the air. Chloroplast are there in leaves. Where is the chloroplast? It is a green pigment which is in the leaves, and chloroplast contain chlorophyll. Chlorophyll absorbs sunlight. What is the function of chlorophyll? Chlorophyll absorbs sunlight. Sunlight help to convert CO2 and water into the food. Due to sunlight, carbon dioxide and water converts into food, and during whole this photosynthesis process, one byproduct is obtained, and that byproduct is oxygen. Very important gas. Nowadays oxygen is very important. You know that COVID patients, when they become serious, they need oxygen, and during this photosynthesis process, oxygen is released. So plants are making food for themselves, and for others they are providing oxygen. So we must grow more plants. Okay, so in this way photosynthesis takes place in leaves. Photosynthesis also takes place in stem also, but when the stem is green in color, stem also can perform photosynthesis. Students, let's understand the transport system of plants. So you know the transport system of our how that buses carry you up to the school, and again they carry you from school to home. That is your transport system of our school. So we are going to study the transport system of plant. Okay, for transportation in plants, there are two types of tubes. Two types of tubes are there, xylem and phloem. Xylem spelling you can see on screen. Phloem spelling, these two words are very new for you. So xylem is a tube-like part which is in stem, and this xylem is a pipe-like tube-like part which transport water and minerals into the plant. Phloem transport food. Okay, you can see in plant is very tall, and phloem transport carry food from leaves to every part of the plant, and xylem carries water and minerals from soil to every part of the plant. Uh, So in this way transportation occurs in the plant. Students, plants have transport system, but plants do not have separate digestive system or excretory system like us. Plants have transport system, but it is not having excretory system and digestive system. So students, let's study what is chemosynthesis. So photosynthesis I have explained you. What is this chemosynthesis? Chemosynthesis might be related to chemical. So bacteria, you know bacteria lives in areas where sunlight does not reach. Such type of bacteria produce their food by using CO2. Bacteria also produces food, and what do they use? They use CO2. Where do they produce their food? They produce their food the place where less sunlight is there. So methane, hydrogen sulfide, producing food in this way. So this in chemosynthesis, bacteria produce their food by using CO2. They use CO2, they use methane, they use hydrogen sulfide, and they produce their own food in the absence of sunlight by using CO2, methane, hydrogen sulfide. So this is called a chemosynthesis. Students, green plants do not perform chemosynthesis. Only bacteria produce chemosynthesis. Chemosynthesis process takes place in the absence of sunlight. So students, we will see which are the different substances excreted by the plants. What do plants excrete? Plants, the different substances excreted by the plants are oxygen, CO2 and water droplets. Plants release O2 during day. So release, what do plants gives us? What do plants release? Plants release oxygen, CO2 and water droplets. Plants release O2 during day. Plants release gum, resins also. By photosynthesis process, plants produce carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are made up of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen. Let's understand how do plants obtain the nitrogen which is necessary for synthesizing protein. What is the use of nitrogen? Nitrogen is necessary for preparing proteins or synthesizing proteins. So air, as you know that air contains gaseous nitrogen, okay, but plants cannot use this gaseous nitrogen. Okay, plants need to fix and convert into compounds. In air, nitrogen is in huge amount, but this nitrogen plants cannot use directly. Plant have to fix the nitrogen. Fixation of nitrogen occurs by two methods, that is biological method and atmospheric method. So first of all, we will study biological nitrogen fixation. Let's understand how plant fix atmospheric nitrogen. Okay, nitrogen fixation takes place by two types of microorganisms. Students, do you know pulses like dal, moong, matki, soya bean, and you know that moongfalli, falli or pods. Plants which have pods which grows plants which grows legumes, such plants are called leguminous plants. जिसको फली आती है, शेंगा आते हैं, वैसे प्लांट्स को बोलते हैं लेग्यूमिनस प्लांट्स. ऑल पल्सेस आर लेग्यूमिनस प्लांट्स. Plants which produce pulses are called leguminous plants like tur, moong, matki, gram or chana or moongfalli. These all are the groundnut plant. It is a leguminous plant. Leguminous plants have root nodules. उनके रूट्स पे ऐसी गांठें होती है. आप स्क्रीन पे देखो रूट नोड्यूल्स कैसे होती है. So leguminous plants have root nodules. You can see on screen leguminous plants. Okay, its roots have nodules, and these leguminous plants contain a rhizobium bacteria. In these nodules, उन nodules के अंदर क्या है? Rhizobium bacteria, and this bacteria absorbs atmospheric nitrogen and convert it into its नाइट्रेट. नाइट्रेट इज अ कंपाउंड. सो नाइट्रोजन कैसे मिलता है प्लांट्स को? उनके रूट में नोड्यूल्स होते हैं, नोड्यूल्स के अंदर राइजोबियम बैक्टीरियाज होते हैं. वो बैक्टीरियाज नाइट्रोजन को एब्जॉर्ब करते हैं और उन नाइट्रोजन को कन्वर्ट करते हैं नाइट्रेट में, और नाइट्रेट एक कंपाउंड है. सेकेंड टाइप ऑफ बैक्टीरिया आर माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स लाइक एज़ोटोबैक्टर. So these Azotobacter microorganisms are present in soil. They are not present in nodules, they are present in soil. These microorganisms fixes nitrogen, atmospheric nitrogen, and convert into nitrate. Okay students, so this was biological fixation. Okay, now we will understand atmospheric fixation. Students, you are experiencing nowadays thunder is there, lightning is there, rainfall is there. So this thunder, lightning is not bad. According to science, it is very useful. So during lightning, thunder, okay, so what happens? Heavy rains are there. Due to this atmospheric nitrogen, due to all these conditions, atmospheric nitrogen and oxygen, they react with each other and form nitric oxide. See how nature is useful for us. Nature is very powerful. So in air, nitrogen is there. During thunderstorm, during lightning, this nitrogen and oxygen react with each other and forms nitric oxide, NO2, and this nitrogen oxide dissolves in rainwater and it is converted into nitric acid. When it dissolved in rainwater, it becomes nitric acid, and which gets added to the soil along with the rainwater, and plant use this nitrogen for their growth. Sometimes this nitric acid, due to this excess nitric acid, rain become acidic, and due to this acidic rain, our Taj Mahal, which is made up of granite, it's getting yellow patches. So for Taj Mahal is made up of granite, and that it is granite, it is what it is happening to the granite. It is getting eroding, it is eroding due to nitric acid. But for plants, nitric acid is good for synthesizing proteins. Student, now we will study about symbiotic relationship और न्यूट्रिएशन. सिम्बायोटिक मीन्स एक दूसरे का फायदे के लिए जो दोस्ती करते हैं उसको बोलते हैं symbiotic nutrition. In symbiotic nutrition, two or more types of plants live together to fulfill their need. Okay, so this type of nutrition is called symbiotic nutrition. Two or more than two plants, they live very happily, very nicely, and fulfill their needs. For example, green plants and fungi. In this type of nutrition, fungi grows near green plants and provides minerals and water to the plant, and plants supply nutrients to the fungi. Fungi and green plants, they are friends, they are living together. Fungi is providing water and minerals, and the green plant is providing nutrients to fungi. So best relation is there, fungi and green plant, and such type of nutrition is called symbiotic relation. So best example of symbiotic relation is lichen. Lichen is combination of algae and fungi. Algae provide food to the fungi, and fungi provide water and minerals as well as shelter to the algae. So we will study heterotrophic plants. Okay, heterotrophic plants are the plants which do not contain chlorophyll, which are lacking chlorophyll. Then students, how do these plants live? How they get food? You might have seen a yellow wire-like leafless climber plant growing on a big tree. Okay, name of that yellow wire-like plant is Cuscuta. Cuscuta cannot make its own food as the chlorophyll is absent in this Cuscuta plant. The plant which is completely depend upon the host plant for food, such plant is called parasitic plant. So another Cuscuta is a parasitic plant. It is not having chlorophyll. It is dependent on another host plant for food. So Loranthus is there. So Loranthus is a partially means half parasitic plant. It is a medicinal plant. It grows on shrubs and trees. Leaves of Loranthus carries out photosynthesis for absorbing water and mineral. This plant has special root. These plants only depend on host plant for water and minerals. Loranthus is partially parasitic. It is having chlorophyll. It is depend on another plant for water and minerals. So it can perform photosynthesis. Just it is depend on another plant for water and minerals, hence it is called partially parasitic. So we will study insectivorous plant. Some plants feed upon insects. These plants are called insectivorous plants. Generally, these insectivorous plants grows in water or a soil which is deficient in nitrogen. The soil or a water which is having less nitrogen, if these insectivorous plants grows in these areas. So Drosera burmani is a insectivorous plant, insect khane wala plant. You can see on screen it grows close to the ground. Leaves are pink or red. Leaves have hairs on their margin. On hair tip sticky substance is found to attract the insects. The scientist Jonas Burman identified this plant in Sri Lanka in 1737. Hence the plant is named after him. So which plant? Drosera burmani is an insectivorous plant. It can prepare its own food but is not getting nitrogen for synthesizing proteins. Hence for fulfilling the need of nitrogen, this plant is eating insects, attracting insects and digesting insects. Another insectivorous plant is pitcher plant. Pitcher plant can perform photosynthesis, that is, it is grows in less nitrogen soil. To fulfill need of nitrogen, these plants feed on insect. So this plant also, pitcher plant also grows in a nitrogen deficient soil. To fulfill the need of nitrogen, these plants feed on insects. Plants which leaves of these plants are red, purple. Okay, leaves of some plants are red and purple. They also perform photosynthesis as they are having chlorophyll. You can see some plants are red, some plants are leaves are having purple color or red color. Then how they are performing photosynthesis? They are having chlorophyll. As they are having carotenoids. So these colorful plants, the leaves which are colorful, such plants have carotenoids, xanthophyll, anthocyanins. So these are the color pigments. So such leaves have such type of pigments, that is carotenoids, xanthophyll and anthocyanins. So such pigments are there. Carotenoids appears orange due to the reflection of sun. Xanthophyll appears yellow and anthocyanins appears violet or reddish. So you can see such leaves, such plants, they also perform photosynthesis. We will study saprophytic plants. Saprophytic plants means plants which get their food from dead and decaying matter is called saprophytic. Fungus, yeast, these are saprophytic plants. They are not having chlorophyll, they feed on dead and decaying matter. Fungi like mushroom, yeast are the example of saprophytic plants. Dead and decaying matter they consume. Fungi releases or secretes digestive enzyme on dead remains and to digest or break down carbon compounds. So this fungi, it secretes digestive enzymes on dead matter and break down the carbon compound and absorbs the whatever necessary things fungi absorb from the dead and decaying matter. Students always remember that fungi are not always bad. Okay, many useful fungi are also there. Okay, so food gets spoiled due to fungi. So this is a negative effect of fungi, that food gets spoiled due to fungi. But some fungi causes disease or illness. Some fungi causes diseases or illness, while some fungi have medicinal properties. Yeast and some mushrooms are very useful. Yeast we use yeast in idli, in dosa, in jalebi, in for preparing cake. So yeast is used as a fermentation process. We will study this fermentation process in next class. Okay, for making bread yeast is used. Mushroom are a rich source of iron and vitamins. So students, we have studied. Dear students, in today's video we have studied what is meant by nutrition, what is meant by nutrients, what is meant by autotrophic plants, transport system in plants, biological nitrogen fixation, atmospheric nitrogen fixation, symbiotic nutrition, insectivorous plants and saprophytic plants. Students, one request is there, all teachers are taking lots of effort for making videos, for making you understanding the concept. So kindly students, study at home. Okay, so you have to watch this video very seriously. Okay, and study these concepts properly, read lesson. Okay, so take advantages of these videos. Goodbye students, have a nice day.